Is there something that you want people to take away from your experience and what you've learned? Maybe a lesson?
If anybody's shooting at you, make sure you duck.
That's Jarod Behee. Spend any amount of time with him and you'll learn he's candid, driven, sincere, and full of life, rarely missing an opportunity to make people laugh. But 20 years ago, during a deployment to Iraq, an enemy sniper's bullet nearly killed him.
It was a froggy day back in 2005, and I volunteered to go out on a security detail for a lieutenant colonel for the engineer unit on the FOB that I was on. And sure enough, they put me up on the most covered position on this rooftop at a police station. I'm pretty sure it's Beige, Iraq, but my memory's a little froggy that day. I was told that they heard this loud crack, and then they heard another loud thud. The first one was the guy, the sniper, shooting his weapon. The second one was it hit my Kevlar, blowing a hole through my Kevlar, knocking me to the ground, me dropping my weapon, which is something you're not supposed to do in the military. I don't remember nothing after that.
The rest of the story comes from what others have told Jarod. His fellow soldiers rushed up to his position and found him lying on the ground, bleeding from the head, but alive. A bullet had gone through his helmet, but miraculously not through his head.
My mom says I'm lucky I have a hard head because of my head was harder than the Kevlar.
He was carried to a Humvee, then airlifted out of country, beginning a long journey of recovery.
My next memory was up in Palo Alto, California, at the VA hospital up there, because they were the only tier 1 trauma unit for the West Coast. And all I remember is just doing my therapies there in that little podunk town.
Jarod joined the Army in 1999, leaving Phelan, California for basic and advanced infantry training in Oklahoma. He went from there to his first duty station in Germany. That's where he was on 9/11.
When was your first deployment to Iraq?
In 2001, I was in my general's office watching the planes fly through the towers. And immediately after the planes hit the towers, we started gearing up to go because we knew we were going over to Iraq.
That first deployment was largely uneventful for Jarod's unit, but it reinforced his love for the Army.
Yeah, I wanted to make the Army a career. I have high hopes to be next Sergeant Major of the Army.
Jarod's time at that Palo Alto VA hospital was frustrating for him.
Because I couldn't eat, sleep, or do anything for myself at that time.
Were you aware that you weren't able to do that?
Yes. I wanted to do all these things that I was trying to do, but I just couldn't do it. And my body knew I couldn't do it, but mentally I wanted to do it.
What gave you that determination to say, look, I'm going to heal?
My family and friends.
People like Jose Mendoza, a veteran he met at the 2015 National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic, an adaptive sports event co-presented by DAV and the Department of Veterans Affairs every year.
What was your first impression of him?
Amazing. He had taken a bullet in the head. He had this gaping gash, and he was out there snowboarding, living the best life, and I was still dealing with my injury. I lost my right eye. I got traumatic brain injury, and it was hard for me to be around people. And so for him just to kind of bring me along and show me that it's okay to be disabled and have a great life, that was amazing.
After the Winter Sports Clinic, Jarod and Jose, realizing they lived close to each other in California, kept in touch and formed a strong friendship. Jose got to watch and be part of Jarod's progress as he continued to heal and grow.
He didn't let that injury get to him. If you know more about Jarod, he's been through more than just that bullet wound in the head. I mean, it took a long time to get to where he's at now. It took his family, his support, his wife, Julie. It takes a team. It takes a team, and that gentleman is he's not just surviving, he's living.
As Jose became more involved locally with DAV at Chapter 12 in San Bernardino, he invited Jarod to come too. That's where Jarod met Joseph Mosley, a fellow Army veteran and Purple Heart recipient.
I really related to him because I knew it was like what it felt like to be told you really can't do your job anymore. And in some ways, he's very encouraging to me because he says, you know what, you still have the mental capability, you're strong enough, you're mobile enough, Joe. He's like my number one supporter in a lot of ways, which is encouraging because I get frustrated. I come and talk to him.
Jarod's desire to serve grew as he started coming around the chapter more and more frequently. Previously, he served as the chapter's senior vice commander. He's now elected as its sergeant-at-arms. The chapter is open 2 days a week, and he's responsible for opening the building and getting it ready to welcome veterans.
With Jarod, it's all about service. And to serve the DAV community, to serve his fellow brothers and sisters in arms, to be motivational, to be there, and he is there. And thank God for his wife to get him there. He is one of the team. He is a big part of our team.
He talks to our veterans when they come and volunteer. He engages with our volunteers. He shows them around our garden. He welcomes them. It's just night and day from where he began his disability to where he's at now. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy.
Jarod says 20 years since his injury, it's an event that plays out in his memory every day.
That's the first thing on my mind. It's the last thing on my mind when I go to bed, Brian. I'm just happy to be alive, to live to fight another day.